A man is kicked out of his home by his wife. With no other option, he goes into the mountains and uses wood and stone to build a shelter. The man gets to work immediately. He cuts 6 straight logs from the forest, 2 slightly longer and 4 of equal length. First, he marks out a rectangular foundation pit on level ground and precisely chisels 3 rows of holes along the outline. Then, he inserts 2 of the 4 equal-length logs into the first row of spaced holes as front support. The 2 longer logs are fixed in the middle row, forming the core load-bearing pillars. The remaining 2 equal-length logs are inserted into the third row as rear support. All 4 pillars stand vertically and are evenly spaced. Thus, a stable pillar structure is formed, laying a solid foundation for the construction. Next comes the masonry of the bedroom walls. The man begins stacking stone walls close to the pillars along the foundation pit. To solve the problem of moving large stones, he builds a simple lever hoist system using wood. He places a long wooden pole next to a large tree, ties a rope and sling to the lower end. By pulling the rope, he easily lifts heavy stones, greatly improving the efficiency of wall construction. He chisels and polishes stones of all sizes one by one, making the contact surfaces fit perfectly, then fills the gaps with clay. In a short time, he raises 3 stone walls to a height of 80 centimeters. Finally, he smooths the clay on top of the walls with a trowel. On the remaining side, 3 pillars are left. The 2 on the right are reserved as the bedroom door frame, and the 2 on the left are used to build a wood-fired stove. The wood-fired stove is built with great ingenuity. Using the left pillars as support, the man builds a 40-centimeter-high U-shaped base frame with stones. He tightly places more than a dozen wooden logs on top as load-bearing supports, then evenly applies and smooths clay over them. He continues building upward, leaving the lower space as a firewood storage platform with an ash-falling layer in the middle. On top of the ash-falling layer, he places evenly spaced steel bars as a grate, then encloses the upper space to form the firebox. At the back of the firebox, he leaves a rectangular opening. He uses 2 flat stones that can slide left and right to open and close the opening, and fixes a grooved stone on top as a lid. Then he continues stacking stones, gradually narrowing them inward to form an arched frame, creating the firewood feeding opening. At the top, he leaves a chimney opening, and finally builds a square chimney flue. Thus, a wood-fired stove that combines cooking and storage is completed. The remaining bedroom walls are built with equal care. The man chisels straight grooves inside the pillars, shapes corresponding tenons on the logs, and uses the hoist to insert each log into the grooves one by one. He assembles them step by step from bottom to top until they are level with the pillars. Halfway up, he leaves a square opening as a window. The side wall of the bedroom is thus enclosed. Erecting the roof frame is the key to roofing. The man builds an A-shaped roof frame on top of the front and rear rows of pillars. At the joints, he drills holes and drives in wooden pegs to fix them. On the other side wall of the bedroom, he first installs a square wooden window frame, connects the top to the roof frame, then splits a log into 2 halves, places the cut side against the pillars, drills holes, fixes with wooden pegs, and seals the gaps from bottom to top. The final wall is built using the same technique. The wooden texture contrasts beautifully with the stone wall, creating a unique charm. After that, he fills the gaps in the wooden wall with wood fiber and fluff, which keeps out wind and preserves heat. At this point, the basic shape of the shelter has appeared. To solve the problems of heating and fuel, the man builds a circular kiln outside the house. Inside, he spreads sawdust and wood shavings, then stands and arranges wooden sticks all around. He lights the shavings, seals the kiln with clay, leaving only a chimney opening at the top. He makes charcoal by smoldering. During the charcoal making process, he builds 2 20-centimeter-high stone channels inside the bedroom and smooths the surfaces with clay. After the charcoal is ready, he pours it into the 2 channels, then lays wooden planks on top, thus making a heated kang, a traditional heated bed. This completely solves the problem of winter heating. Next, he uses the stepped stone wall to build an embedded wooden cabinet, maximizing space utilization. He also makes a louvered wooden window that can open and close, balancing light and heat retention. Then, demonstrating his woodworking skills, he shapes square timber into tenons and mortises, assembles the bed frame, inserts wooden planks, and makes a sturdy wooden bed, which he places over the heated kang. After that, he stores his tools, pots, bowls, and utensils one by one into the cabinet. Small house instantly feels like a home. For safety, he installs a heavy wooden door, wooden hinges, and a door lock made of a removable wooden peg, effectively protecting against wild animals. The outer area of the bedroom is planned as a kitchen. The man drills holes between the reserved pillars at the same height as the stone wall, inserts wooden sticks as supporting beams, places 2 more logs on the beams, carves grooves into them, and inserts wooden planks to form a cooking counter. Then, he paves the kitchen floor with flat stones, filling the gaps between stones with clay. The floor is smooth and waterproof. Roofing is the final step. The man evenly fixes square timbers onto the roof frame as purlins, lays waterproof tarp, presses it down with wooden strips, then overlaps flat stones on top of the tarp to create a tile-like waterproof layer, ensuring no rain leaks through. At this point, this all-in-one shelter, combining bedroom, kitchen, storage, and heating, is fully completed. After working continuously for several days, the man is exhausted. He puts beef and dough into a homemade baking cage, places it over the wood-fired stove to bake. Soon, fragrant roasted meat and flatbread come out. Paired with tomatoes and onions picked from the mountains, it becomes a hearty dinner. After eating and drinking his fill, he lies on the warm wooden bed, looks at the shelter he built with his own hands, and finally can sleep peacefully. In the depths of these mountains, using his wisdom and hands, he has built a place to call home, and thus begins a new settled life.